Hey guys, welcome back to Mini Dioramas. Hope everybody had a wonderful New Year and Christmas, and we're going to start off the year with a Mini Dioramas because I felt inspired to do a new one this month. So last month's was, or the last episode was a haunted mansion, haunted house type of deal. This was done in October, so it's been a while since I did a Mini Diorama of sorts. So yeah, so this month's going to be it was going to be a lighthouse, and then I turned it into a pirate lighthouse. So it's going to be a pirate lighthouse. So we'll just get on to the time lapse now. Okay, let's start off with the first couple, the building blocks for this type of mini diorama this month, or this episode. So the idea came to me for a pirate-themed lighthouse. Originally it was going to just be like a generic lighthouse that you would find like off of the shores of Maine or lighthouses here in like California, but it kind of turned into a pirate one because I was just kind of like making some random pieces in here and there and just picking different shapes, and pirate seems to be appropriate. I don't know, it just seemed to be the right thing to do. Not really, there's really no rhyme and reason why I picked pirate, but it just seemed to work out in this aspect because originally it was going to be the lighthouse on an island in the middle of the little diorama, but that didn't turn out. I felt like adding an additional land to it will make it a little bit more diorama feel because it suggests that there's more out in the corner or something of that nature. So just making a very simple, not really simple lighthouse. This is more like, so I found some concept art I think off ArtStation, and there's this one that really spoke to me that had tile roofing and had either a little bit of straw roofing, which I've done before in the first diorama with the windmill. I did the cottage with straw roofing out of bushes. I didn't want to really repeat myself again, so I wanted to do some tile roofing, and this time in vanilla, because I've done tile roofing with Construction Anarchy. That was actually very simple, and so I was trying to figure out, can I actually pull this off in a vanilla stance, and I'm surprised you can. There's a lot you can still do in vanilla, and so I'm quite happy and satisfied with the outcome of this. So like for example, for this building right here, I'm testing out some different wood detailing and stuff like that. So most of the pillars are made of shapes, and then the windows are made with a regular window piece with a terrace. I think it's called a terrace wall with the cross sections. That's always a cool piece to use into windows. Makes the windows look different, makes them unique. So I tried that here. Here I'm trying to do tile work. This does not work really well actually, because with the spacing of things and how it works out, this didn't work out really well. But again, I'm also experimentation during this 2-hour time limit. So I should also just rephrase the rules. So the rules are in this diorama, or this series is, you have 2 hours to build on a 20x20, and you're only doing vanilla. So vanilla meaning no mods like Construction Anarchy or Freedom 2000. So I'm only giving myself 2 hours, and so I think it's a fun part about doing these builds. Is that's the challenge of my time management, what I should focus on, what should I not focus on, and how to better use my time. So always experimentation during a time crunch is always a very risky move, but a risky move that can ultimately give a benefit. So you just have to weigh out the options here. So here I'm trying to just experimentate with the thatched roofing again, and the thatched roofing just didn't work out this time. So I felt like, again, I don't want to repeat myself in these dioramas. I try not to. So I'm just gonna skip on forward and go on to the next roof idea. And changing the color also helped out in this moment too. But I finally found one, and you'll see it just as it kind of, it grows into itself. So here I tried out some cylinders, 45 degrees. Those are 0.15 on grid 8, because I know that 0.15 and grid 8 go well together. So bricks and shapes kind of go together really well on 0.8. So I wanted to also close the gap in between the shapes, so it went from 0.15 to 0.17, which was the perfect number. And this was the perfect opportunity to do overhang. Because in Parkitect, all roofs are stuck on the grid with the walls, so everything doesn't look as unique enough with overhanging roofs. So this was the perfect opportunity to do it with using shapes and cylinders, and this actually, the effect is just phenomenal. I like this effect. I'm probably going to use this in more of my vanilla plays when I get to the campaign this year, because I'm planning on doing the campaign, hopefully with like Maple Meadows will be first, and that'll be some type of, I want to do a medieval themed or something. We'll see when that comes up, but I'm also still working on American Adventure, which is still chugging along and hopefully done by this year as well. Again, all these projects are also in going, and then also, what's the other project? The new diorama, oh my gosh, the new Coaster View diorama is still going on, so I might partake in the January one. We will see, because that's a spinning coaster. I have some plans maybe for that one too. But yeah, you can see it right here on the roofs, how unique they are. They actually work really well, especially with the discoloring of the tile work. It actually makes it look really nice. So I want to do this again for like maybe a mission or something, and or a scenario. Oh, that reminds me, I need to work on some scenarios too. So I have like a whole bunch of projects again. So blueprinting also helps in time management as well, especially in a 2-hour crunch. So there's one building, and then the second building I'm going to finish with the tile work as well. So this is just like the main house with the lighthouse tower, and the second house is probably either where there's storage or some other living quarters of some sort. So it's kind of like a small pirate island, but not necessarily fully pirate. But I'm giving that themes of that it is a pirate-owned lighthouse, so maybe the island has the town on the other side of it, or there's a harbor where there's a boat. So again, there's some storytelling involved, but not like too much. Again, I don't go super into these storytelling details, especially in a mini diorama, but when you're building, sometimes these story elements just come out of nowhere. So there's really no planning. It's just more like, if it feels right and this should work. And it just kind of goes with it. Right now I wanted to do a fishing, what do you want to call it, a fishing net crane. I don't want to call it like that. I did this a long time ago in American Adventure with fishing nets out of strawberry pieces, and I thought, can I still do this in vanilla? Because in American Adventure it was Construction Anarchy, so I can put them as close as I want horizontally and stuff like that. So I wanted to see if it can work out here too, because I'm surprised that some of the techniques that I used in American Adventure can still actually work in vanilla, which is actually pretty cool. So there you are, the strawberry pieces as nets. There's about, I think, 5 or 6 of them all bunched together, and from a distance it looks like a net. I think it looks like the best technique you can. So again, seeing pieces that they are not is always the coolest way to go, because again, there's the strawberry piece. Same thing with the chocolate piece. I will keep praising its praises, that it's the chocolate piece is just phenomenal in using so many different things. Especially now with Freedom 2K involved, you can flip them all which ways, but in vanilla they still work really well. So here I'm just finishing up details and dockings and making my own lanterns. The poles for the lanterns I found is a trellis piece. I've never used this piece before. I might be using it more often. So it's just a plain pillar with a little dinky little square at the bottom, so like detailing. And you can color, I don't think you can color the square at the bottom, but you can color the pole. So I want to use that piece maybe more often, maybe as more support beams or something, but they're supposed to go with the trellis walls. And there's only, 2 types of trellis walls? I think a flat wall and a triangular wall, something of that nature. But again, the trellis walls are actually pretty useful in some like wall detailing or window work or stuff like that. So on to do the tower where the lighthouse sits. So this was kind of just made up. I didn't really copy anything specifically. I kind of copied the dome type of, I don't know, you want to call it roofing, kind of like from the one of the campaign levels, Brimstone Peak. And kind of copy the same type of dome type of roofing, just kind of make it unique, added some textures. I've noticed that in this game that adding textures to things, to your build, makes them more interesting than flat. And I always want to try to focus on getting rid of the flatness and kind of doing some different shapes and textures and other points of interest. So that's kind of the objective here in this type of lighthouse build. And then now at this point, I'm going to have to do some actual environment building now. So I'm glad that I didn't do an island, because that would have been so quick to finish. So So having a land go out toward the edges of the maps is suggesting that the island is a little bit bigger than it looks. And so it does give that impression that this is a diorama that would be like on a coffee table. Just imagine that this had wooden sides and a glass top, and then there you go, the little diorama you would put on your coffee table, and it's like a interesting conversation piece. Again, that's just how I imagine it. And that just helps me make this more realistic in type of diorama and all. I mean, again, I don't know if you would even use this in a theme. You probably can use this in a theme park. You can use this in a pirate theme park. I would. Hey, you might see this build come again in one of the campaign levels, because I'm guessing that Batavia K is my pirate themed map, and I probably would go piratey again on that one. So you might see it again. So that'll be a couple months down the line as I work on the campaign. So right now I wanted to do experimentations with some pieces in the past. Again, this is kind of what I've done before in American Adventure, but I had more control. So the cookie pieces I like using as little pebbles. So the little chocolate chips look like pebbles. And this is the best way to figure out if I can use it in vanilla. And there is. So you just make them large, place them on ground, and then take a cylinder disc and lightly make it bigger to cover the cookie, and then you have the pebbles poking out. So I made a sand gravel area in the back, and it was just the perfect way to do it. And so I'm going to be using that technique again as well. So again, the candy pieces are coming in strong right now again. They always are very good pieces. I can't dislike any of them at this point. They're all very useful. Even the gumdrop pieces are very useful in their ways of how they look and what they do. They're shiny and they're recolorable. They have different shapes on them, stuff like that. So right now, with the town kind of being it's kind of just a small harbor, very small harbor. So just the detailing stuff, so pots, some barrels, some cannons, some weapon stands, chimneys, and hay. So all the little details that would make it look lively is here. And then quick chocolate bars, add some accents and detailing, and some seaweed. But yeah, this has been... I like this one because it's simple, but it still tells a pretty good story in what it is, and you know it's kind of alive. It's not really like in the middle of... Well, how do you guys put it? Like, it's not dead. You can kind of tell there's something going on. There's all these little details that can tell little stories, and it shows the big picture of the whole little build. So I was quite surprised that this worked out, because I thought Lighthouse was going to be boring or not as eventful, but again, this worked out pretty well. So thank you for watching, and I want to thank my patrons for the support. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can, and I will see you guys in the next mini. Actually, no, wait. We're not going to do that. We're going to show you a tour. I want to show you a tour. That's what we're going to do. Oh my gosh. No outro yet. See you in the live tour. Okay, here we are in the live tour of the Pirate Lighthouse. I'm glad I remembered right before I ended that time-lapse recording to show you guys a close-up of the diorama. Oh my goodness. But here we are, Pirate Lighthouse. Not a really good name, but kind of is on the nose. It's a pirate lighthouse. So... okay, let's just look at some close-up details. So here we are with the dock out of veranda pieces. And we got some, I think that, oh yeah, that cannon is floating. But again, that's because of vanilla. I can't get it close enough like with Constructed Anarchy, but that's okay. From this distance, it doesn't matter, especially when you're looking around and stuff. So here's the strawberry net with the crane and cable piece. And then, oh, I didn't mention the tires. These are actually piles of rope. It looks like rope to me, but to other players it might not. But I kind of like the idea of like just bunching them together like this, and it looks like coils of rope. So I'm still going to experiment with other pieces that might work out to kind of resemble rope. Maybe I can use the text engine. I don't know, but to me it looks like rope, so it kind of added that cool detail. And again, using pieces that are not intended to. So tires are ropes, strawberries are nets, and chocolate bars are wood decoration. So that's kind of fitting for this type of diorama, just using pieces not as intended. Like, I want to use these basalt pillars for something later on, because I've seen Silverette use them as pillars for a building, which was really a smart idea, and I will probably do that too. It just depends on the build that it calls me to it. But I just wanted to show you just the close-ups of the roofing. I love this roofing because it gives this a sense of detailing and just a different look to any of the buildings that Parkitect could provide. So adding this overhang really gives that extra detailing, and then adding shutters on these windows and adding that little decoration on top makes them different and unique and kind of, I don't know, piratey. And then there's the gravel path in the back, or gravel like landmark. This looks cool. I like this. I think I would maybe discolor some of the rocks to make them a little bit more discolored. So maybe darker grays, lighter grays, maybe some blues, just to add some interest. I might be using this in the campaign because I can. This is all vanilla, so I'm probably going to do that. So yeah, here's Pirate Lighthouse. It will be on the workshop for you guys to gander and to explore. A blueprint if you want. I would love to see this in a theme park of some nature. Maybe a roller coaster goes around it, or this is the station. I always love seeing you guys use some of my techniques and builds. It just shows me that you guys are enjoying what I produce and stuff like that. So now I can actually finally say the outro. So if you like what you see here, you can hit the subscribe button. You can also join my Patreon if you want to. If you want to support me, there will be a link in the description below. I'm always on the Reddit, the Discord, and on Twitter. So if you want to go follow me there, you can. I'm planning on doing some finishing up projects. So American Adventures coming up to an end, and then that will be released. And then maybe do the campaign play of all of Parkitect. So the first campaign series, so 26, and then maybe the Taste of Adventure. And maybe we pray that, I don't know, Parkitect has another DLC down the line. Who knows what's going to hold up for 2022. But yeah, thank you for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.